Hi everybody, and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. And this video is going to be kind of a two-parter type of thing. One is sorry, how I track my period, as you can see here, and the second one is how this tracking kind of influences the idea that having using reusable items like cloth pads or the menstrual cup is actually better than using disposable single-use stuff, because this stuff will make your period lighter and less painful. So I'm going to start with how I track my period. I do it two ways. I will write it down in here. So this is, as you can see, my November 2018 track. The reason I kind of picked this one is because this one has the least amount of writing all over it. Generally there is stuff all over here, how much money I paid for rent and all that type of stuff. This was just an order I made from Handmade by Hetty, so I was like, this one will do. So yeah, this is the only one that I could find with not a whole bunch of personal information written on the same page. So this one here, as you can see, was Wednesday the 21st of November 2018. And I changed my liner 4 times, which meant I would have been getting a little bit of discharge, essentially. A little bit of pre-period discharge. It would have been brown, very light, very small, like rust coloured. And so I just would have changed it. And I usually have a period prep pack in my bag, and generally before I start I will have my menstrual cup in there, and I'll have a couple of liners. But obviously at this point it wasn't heavy enough for me to worry about. The next day, as you can see by the number 1, this was the first day. So as you can see, I must not have been at work this day because I wore all pads, and I recorded the time I changed, what I wore, the maker and the size. If we go over the page, we will then see day 2 is very much the same. Time I changed, size of pad, what the pad is, because obviously if I just put Keller Bear Creates there, I actually have several by Keller Bear Creates, so I designate which one I was wearing. And again, all the way down, as you can see, this day would have been my heavy day, and so I was changing quite frequently. And these ones are moderate and heavies. Dracula is a heavy, Moon and Stars is a moderate, Lilo and Stitch is a heavy, Angry Beef is a heavy, Little Mermaid is a moderate, La Flame is a heavy, Mario Kart is a heavy, Adventure Time is a moderate, and Zombie Bunnies is an overnight. So then we move on to day 3, same thing, and then day 4. There is day 5 over the page, and day 6, but I've got stuff written on those, personal measurement on those. So as you can see from these types of things, this is how I track my period. This is also how I do my videos on Instagram, and also how I do my what I wore this month on YouTube on here, because I do it in order. I like to do it in order. I think it makes more logical sense than just going, here's all the stuff that I wore this month. So that is how this looks in my just my desk diary, I guess. Also I use an app. This is the app that I use. This is called Period Tracker, or P Tracker. This is the paid version, but I think it only costs like $2.19 or $1.98 or something when I purchased it. As you can see, my projected start date is January 16, because I've already had my December period. I have 16-day list, and that is the tap. Okay, so if we look at my calendar, you can see my calendar, and in December, this is my December period. It also has what I was wearing, and also has my moods. Okay, so it also has how my body's reacting and all that type of stuff. I would have been fertile between the 28th and the 31st of December. If we go to January, oh look, the 2nd of January is my most fertile time. You will see that the greyed out bits from the 16th is my projected period. Okay, also I have been using this for quite a substantial amount of time, so if we look at the log charts down at the bottom, you will see that there was 27 days in my average cycle. It will give you all of the dates of my last ones and all of that type of stuff. So this actually is a charting system. It does have a social component to it. I don't particularly use this social component. However, as an app, I've had no issue with it. And as you can see, I record this information both in this desk diary and in here. So when I get my period or change all of this, I just hit add note and then add the notes. This has like a lifestyle questions. This has symptoms and how good or bad they are. And this has the type of moods that I'm going through that day. You can also change the general appearance with this type of stuff. And you can also reset certain things in here. Okay, including period length, cycle length, ovulation, symptoms and moods. You can change it, this type of appearance. It's just set to outdoor one at the moment. I just change it every now and then when I feel like it. Okay, I can also put in trying to conceive in pregnancy, just so it logs that type of information and I get more of a consistent progress report. And I can also data share with a partner. And on top of that, with my account, what I can do is send it to myself. Okay, so this is a P-Tracker app, and this is the app that I use. I've been using it since about 2013, so well before I started using reusable products, which kind of leads me into the question about lighter or less cramping. Now, I actually experienced less contact dermatitis and less cramping. I think I've mentioned this in a previous video. However, that was because quite often what I would do is when I would put these, when I use tampons, this is just a Libra regular, and it came in this pack that you can order from their website. Quite often it would dry me out and I'd have to use supers, so on my heaviest 2 days like this one, I would change at least this many times in a heavy day. So that was a lot of pulling out tampons and putting them back in. I'd also get contact dermatitis from these type of products, which meant I would be itchy and irritated and in pain due to the fact that I was experiencing allergies from these types of products. When people switch from single-use products to reusable products, they tend to do things like I've just shown you. Record it better, record it more, have these types of stuff, because you start to participate in your period more. You also tend to make other life choices that start to change the way that your body reacts. I've been taking magnesium for about 2 years now. It goes in my milkshake that I have at the start of every morning, and the magnesium has assisted in reducing cramping and muscle cramps and pain. So most people who are going to be making this type of commitment will then change other aspects of their life. Essentially what I'm telling you is it's not true that moving from reusable products to single-use products to reusable products is actually going to change your period in any way. What it does do for you is actually make you pay far more attention to how much you're bleeding, what you're changing and what you're doing. before anybody kind of jumps in and starts commenting, actually, you know what, jump in and start commenting, I don't mind, but while this is not the perfect example because I wore cloth pads the entire, it's a perfect example of how often I change due to hygiene reasons. But what I also would do is when I wear my menstrual cup, I will say how much is in that cup, and so I can actually record how much I'm actually bleeding. I have done 2 periods so far with only utilising a menstrual cup. It wasn't actually the Lolly cup. I think I used the Diva cup and then the Lunette cup for both of those experiences, and both times I managed to track that I was bleeding about 70 to 80 mils of blood a period, which means I'm actually in the higher but average period loss. Most people I see who comment on period vlogs talk about, I'm so heavy this would not work for me, I'm so heavy this would not work for me. It's actually exactly the excuse and the reason that I personally used for not changing sooner, was that I didn't think these would be adequate enough to deal with my heavy period. At the end of the day, this pad, or these 3 pads, are more than adequate in dealing with my period. I'm actually more hygienic and healthier because I change more often, I'm paying far more attention to my period, and I kind of know what's going on far better because I'm paying more attention. I would challenge anyone who would say that they have a heavy period. I believe you, but go and get a menstrual cup and actually collect your menstrual cup, your menstrual blood, and see how much you're actually bleeding. I will link 2 videos down below. One is from a vlog channel called Put a Cup in It. They provide a lot of information on menstrual cups, but they do actually do a video on 3 women, 1 light, 1 medium and 1 heavy, and they show you the differences between each 3. So I'm on the higher end of normal, but I still fall within the normal category. Because I think these products can be quite deceptive in what they tell you, because quite often, like I just said, you react against them, you're reacting to them, you know, you're trying to ignore your period by going, oh, just go away. When with these, you're not really doing that, you're just dealing with it as you're going along. So, point being, get a menstrual cup, see how much you're actually bleeding. The second video that I'll link is actually from Precious Star Pads. Her vlog channel, Brie actually collects her period blood in a glass jar, you know, and over 1 period as an experiment, and so that's kind of, I'll link both below if you want to watch them. They're kind of interesting to watch and kind of show you what kind of happens when A, you start collecting your own menstrual blood, and how little or much you actually think is there, and B, the Put a Cup in It video, which is actually quite educational in how different women will bleed at vastly different rates and sizes. Anyway, I hope this was actually helpful, and that you get some use out of it. The usual things apply. Comment below. All of my contact details are down below underneath the video links. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.